think Orochimaru is a bad guy, but he's actually a really loving parent. So loving, in fact, that he would actually put a bomb in his son. Wait, that's not good at all. Hello my friends, it's time for another review of the Boruto Naruto Next Generations anime series, the continuation of the Mitsuki's Will arc, which I still think is pretty freaking awesome. This entire episode right here was all about Boruto and Sarada meeting Orochimaru and learning about the history of Mitsuki, learning that he was a test tube baby, a clone, and now he's going off on his very own mission to do something with a group of people who have a plan to... I don't know. The entire thing with Mitsuki and this other brand new mysterious group is not even brought up in this episode at all. This entire episode is basically dedicated to Konoha Village's reaction to Mitsuki, Boruto, and Sarada leaving the village, getting someone to go after them, and Boruto and Sarada, of course, meeting Orochimaru. And Orochimaru, again, proves to be one of the most complex characters of the entire series. A character who's very hard to read. A character who initially came across as a villain, only to be sort of a weird, misunderstood genius who simply just wants to learn about everything there is in the world. It's hard to tell if this guy ever has some sort of ulterior motive, as you never quite know what a snake is going to do, and that's always what makes Orochimaru such an intriguing and awesome character. We also get to see the return of Karin and Suigetsu in this episode, so I really loved it. It was kind of like a big Orochimaru sort of reunion. The only thing missing is Jugo. I was kind of hoping that maybe he would show up in this episode, but no, sorry, all 5 of you Jugo fans are going to be disappointed. The bulk of this episode, however, is dedicated to Boruto and Sarada meeting Orochimaru. Boruto is actually able to sneak into his hideout thanks to Sarada transforming into Mitsuki and getting the attention of Yamato and all the other guard ninja, getting them away from there. She eventually meets up with Karin, who actually manages to help her out, and again, it's always fun to see interactions between these two characters, especially considering Sarada got her glasses from Karin. In many ways, she's kind of like her stepmother, as weird as that actually is. But when we actually go to Orochimaru's hideout, we learn a couple of number things. One, we learn that Orochimaru is an amazing interior decorator. I mean, look at these walls. I would love to have these things in my house. But Boruto gets to learn that, of course, Orochimaru has actually been cloning and creating all sorts of different Mitsukis, and what really bothers Boruto is how Orochimaru doesn't seem to have any sort of loving attachment to Mitsuki. He simply sees him as a thing, as an asset. He sees Mitsuki as something that can simply just be recreated over and over and over again. He may be his father, but he's not exactly his daddy, if you know what I mean. Either that, or this is all some sort of big, convoluted experiment by Orochimaru in order to sort of create the perfect ninja. I don't know. I will say that it was also kind of cool to see Log again. I would love to see more of him in action, if only for the fact that that dude just looked really badass. So even though Boruto is incredibly disappointed by the fact that Mitsuki's dad is kind of a dick, he does realize that Orochimaru is going to be important to actually finding Mitsuki. So Orochimaru does some experimenting on the weird snake, doesn't really find anything, but learns that it is something that will be important for Boruto and Sarada's journey to actually find Mitsuki. And in the first place that they need to go is actually to the Ryuchi cave to meet the White Snake Sage. That's right, we're finally going to get to see the return of that one-off obscure character who barely appeared in the series for like a couple of seconds, and I can't wait to see more of this ridiculous giant chain-smoking snake in action. One of the biggest subplots of this episode too is we get to see that Naruto has dispatched Team Mogi, which also consists of the new Inoshikacho team. They run into Boruto and Sarada at the end of the episode, and of course they're going to end up fighting, and then it's all going to be done and they're going to be friends anyway. I mean, what else do you think would happen? So what's the rundown on this episode of Boruto Naruto Next Generations? I'm really enjoying this arc right here. The pacing of this episode, for some people, I think might be a little slow, but I'm glad that they took their time with introducing Boruto and Sarada to Orochimaru, and to remind the viewer that Orochimaru is one of the best characters of the entire series. I mean, I dare say he's easily one of the most, if not the most complex character of the entire story. He's always been very hard to read. Is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? Is he a sociopath, a psychopath, or is he just really into science? Like basically a Bill Nye on crack. I don't really know what is actually ever going on with Orochimaru, and that's why he's such a fun character to watch. He's unpredictable. He subverts subverts your expectations, and frankly, he's half man, half snake, and that alone just makes him really freaking awesome. Boruto's reaction, of course, is exactly what I would expect to learning everything about Mitsuki, and mostly Orochimaru's reaction to the fact that Mitsuki left and how it's like, no biggie, I'll just pull another one out of the test tube. He reacts in the way that the original Naruto would react, and Orochimaru, I think, is sort of, you know, even though not exactly a villain, he is impressed by Naruto's candor, and he sees a lot of that in Boruto as well, hence why he is willing to actually help him out. Again, this is some surprisingly complex stuff for the show, and I really do appreciate that for it. Also, I'd never even thought about this before, but yeah, the reason Konohamaru didn't really know about Mitsuki is because, well, Mitsuki's the son of Orochimaru, and Orochimaru killed his grandfather, the third Hokage, so yeah, that would probably put a big strain on the relationship, and even though Mitsuki himself is a different person, you never know what people are going to do in the heat of the moment, or what they actually feel in their heart when they have these type of emotions, especially when it comes to revenge or vengeance, and I'm glad that they actually brought that up in this episode, because for some odd reason I didn't even think about it. But I mean, you know, there's like a million characters in Naruto at this point, so it's hard to kind of keep up with things. The whole subplot of the Inoshika-cho team, though, going after Boruto and Sarada, like, I know exactly where that's going. They're gonna fight, it's gonna be a cool action scene, but it's gonna end with them actually convincing them of what they're doing is the right thing. You can even sort of see some of that in the preview of the next episode with Shikadai talking to the snake and everything. It's just, I know exactly how that story is going to go. Honestly, now I'm more interested in the whole Ryuchi cave thing, getting to see the white snake sage, which I think is going to be so freaking awesome. Hopefully we'll actually get to see him in action or actually do something kind of interesting aside from just standing around and smoking a pipe. And you know what? Even if he does that, I still think it's going to be pretty cool. But the main villains, I can't wait to see them in action. They barely appeared in this episode at all, and I really want to know what their motive is, their plan, and how they're even connected to Mitsuki in the first place. Like, how did he meet these guys? It was just a online chat forum or something? Like, wanting to talk to creepy ninja who have bandages all over their face. So what more can I say? This was actually a pretty entertaining episode of Boruto, so I'm gonna give this episode a 4 out of 5. Orochimaru is always a really fun and awesome character to see in action. His interactions with Boruto and Sarada were exactly what I was pretty much expecting. We got to see Karin, we got Suigetsu, we got frickin' Inoshika-cho, we got new villains popping up, frickin' giant frickin' snake with a wig coming up. This is some pretty exciting stuff. So make sure to check it out if you're a fan of the series. If any of you guys did watch the episode, I'd love to hear what you guys thought about it in the comments section below. Tell me what you thought about it, what you hope to see from the rest of this arc. What are the villains' motives? Are you excited to see the giant freaking snake again? Let's just get a discussion going about this episode of Boruto. Thank you guys for watching this review. I'll see you guys all next time, and as always, stay down there, baby.